Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. Recently, the new Boss Katana Artist Gen 3 has just come out. Now, what I thought I'd do, because I've got one here, is to see how close I can get it to sound to my favourite amps. Now, I've got two favourite amps that I'm going to be comparing it against. One is my Amplified Nation Overdrive Reverb. This is my favourite amp, desert island amp, whatever you want to call it, of all time. This is like a Dumble sort of style amp. But because the Katana Artist Gen 3 or the Katana Artist has this new feature, which is a bloom control or a bloom button, I think we can get pretty close to it. So we're going to try that. And also I'm going to compare it against my favorite high gain amp, which is a Soldano SLO100. And I reckon we can get pretty close, maybe not exactly, but I reckon we're going to get pretty close with the Katana Artist. So just so you know how we're switching, we're using this KHE amp switcher here. Now it's going to the same cabinet, but we're switching between the Katana, which is on number 1, and the Amplified Nation, which is on number 2, and the Soldano, which is on number 3. So just for the first part of the video, we're going to be using these two amps here. So again, the Katana on number 1, and the Amp Nation Overdrive Reverb on number 2. Let's start with the Katana versus the Amplified Nation Overdrive Reverb. Now, as I said, the Overdrive Reverb is my desert island amp, and it sounds like this. It's that classic mid-forward Dumble style clean that is very different to a Fender amp, which is more sort of mid-scooped. Now, the thing I love about this amp, it fits in any mix and it just sounds really, really fantastic. So let's switch over to the Katana, and everything is at 12 o'clock, and let's see how that sounds. Now I'm going to move it over to the push setting, because that is definitely more of that sort of Dumble flavour, and it sounds like this. Still, as far as I'm concerned, a great tone, but this is more sort of Fender style because we've got that sort of mid scoop in it. So let's make things a bit more obvious by switching between the two amps. So first of all, the Katana. And now the Amplified Nation. So you can hear that the Amplified Nation's got this really nice presence about it. So let's go back to the Katana and dial in more that sort of tone. Now, first of all, I'm going to switch the bloom button in. That adds this nice amount of natural compression that you'd get more from a valve amp. I think we could turn the gain up a little bit, just a smidge. A bit more volume. Because the Boss Katana is a bit more scooped, I'm just going to turn the mids up and bring the bass back a little bit. just give it a little bit more top end. The Boss Katana has some inbuilt different EQ contours. Now the one that I think is more Dumble style is definitely this yellow one. Now again, because the Boss Katana is voiced more like a Fender style amp, I reckon we could bring the bass back a little bit. Now we've got this resonance control, and this affects how the low end responds. So that just tightens it up a little bit. And again, because it's quite bright, let's bring the presence back as well. Now the last thing, and this is on a lot of the Katanas, is this cab resonance control. Now we've got a choice between vintage, modern, and deep, and because the overdrive reverb is very much sort of Dumble based, we'll stick it in the vintage setting. And let's play the same thing using both amps and see how close we got. So there we go. Now I think we've got pretty damn close with that. Yes, there's going to be differences between any two amplifiers that you pull up. Like if I pulled up another valve amp compared to the Amplified Nation and tried to get that to sound like the Amplified Nation, it's going to sound different. But the sort of tone that the Amplified Nation does is available to do in a certain extent within the Katana. So if you do want that Dumble style tone, I definitely recommend pushing the bloom button and using the new push setting. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to do the second half of this video. I was going to do it as just one video, but I think I'll split it in two now, and I'll do the Soldano, getting the Soldano sort of tone out of the Katana. I'll do that next week so you guys can see for that. So make sure you like and subscribe and ring that bell button and you'll be notified when that video comes out. Anyway, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you next time.